Siamo nuovamente qui nella sede della Fondazione Nicola Bulgari di Roma. Alle nostre spalle c'è uno scenario che abbiamo imparato a conoscere, quello della collezione delle auto d'epoca di Nicola Bulgari. Voi non lo vedete, ma qui c'è un pianoforte in questo grande garage. Questo per dire che la connessione tra le auto antiche e la musica è molto stretta e molto forte. E siamo insieme a Ruslan Talas, che è il protagonista del prossimo concerto della stagione dei concerti della Fondazione, il concerto del 20 di marzo. E allora innanzitutto benvenuto Ruslan.
My pleasure.
E volevo farle qualche domanda. Lei è molto giovane, ha appena 27 anni, è nato nel 1998 in Kazakistan, ha studiato ad Astana, che è la capitale del paese, e poi al Conservatorio di Mosca. Ecco, viene da una famiglia di musicisti e come ha scoperto il violino? È stata una sua scelta quella di iniziare questo strumento e a quale età ha cominciato? Insomma, qual è la prima immagine che ha di se stesso bambino mentre suona il violino, se se la ricorda?
I barely remember my first experience with violin, but I do remember how I was doing violin exercises and bow exercises, how to hold the instrument, how to hold the bow. Thanks to my parents, I became a violinist. My father, he's a violinist and a guitar player, and I was deeply inspired by him, and he was my first mentor. And he invited me to this beautiful world of music. So I'm very grateful to my father and to my mom as well. She isn't a musician, but she also participated in my education and everything, and I'm so grateful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Senta, la sua è stata una formazione, diciamo così, di alto livello, quindi a Mosca ha studiato con eccellenti maestri, poi è stato in Israele e adesso in Svizzera con Janine Jensen. E ora però lei è un violinista maturo che sta raggiungendo insomma la sua identità. E allora mi incuriosiva chiedere una cosa, cioè che cosa incide di più, secondo lei, nella definizione, diciamo, del carattere interpretativo, cioè l'insegnamento da parte dei maestri, la sua personale ricerca in campo musicale, l'ispirazione che forse ha avuto dai grandi interpreti del passato o tutti questi elementi messi insieme?
I'm still in the process of searching my identity, my strong personality, strong voice in music. I'm very grateful to my all teachers, including, of course, my current teacher, Janine Jansen. What you said, I find it very important, and ideally it has to be all together in a complex, and all of them important in certain chapter of your life. Of course, as a kid, I was inspired, and as I'm sure many my colleagues and musicians, I was inspired by great artists of 20th century, also composers. But I find that there is a line which you cannot ideally cross. Still, you have to be yourself. Thinking about the style of playing, you have to be aware about different way of interpretations. Listening great musicians of 20th century, it developed your sense of taste in a good way, and you understand the real aesthetic in classical music, which I find extremely important, and as well, all what you said, it's so important, and we can talk about, I mean, hours, and yeah.
Yeah, sure, sure. Un'altra domanda. Lei ha percorso fin da molto giovane la strada dei grandi concorsi internazionali, no? Il Tchaikovsky per giovani musicisti quando aveva appena 16 anni, e poi la Elbphilharmonie di Amburgo, anche il concorso Postacchini qui in Italia, il Queen Elizabeth, l'Ipsia, insomma, molti concorsi. In molti di questi concorsi lei si è imposto, in quasi tutti è arrivato alle fasi finali. Ecco, ma sente di aver imparato qualche cosa dall'esperienza dei concorsi? Secondo lei i concorsi sono uno strumento efficace per avviare la carriera del solista? E un'ultima cosa, a una prova di concorso, lei che ne ha fatti molti, si accosta in modo diverso rispetto ad un concerto, ad un normale concerto?
All competitions were important part of my life. There are positive sides and negative sides of competitions, and obviously you have to be focused on positive sides. And the positive sides which I learned from competitions, how to plan your practicing, how to be focused during long period, during preparation for the competition, how to deal with program, and what is really important, I find, in competition, ideally you have to show your all strength and your best qualities as a musician, as a violinist, in the competition. And so you have to find composers who you fit well, which you like, which you really love. And same time, competitions could be sort of a test when you play there, and you have only one opportunity to play well and to do your best, which is a lot of pressure, which is negative side, but I believe that it's everywhere. I mean, when you play concert, you also have only one chance. So it teaches you how to be very focused, how to plan the program. It teaches you to be responsible for your performance, and especially in front of composers. I think as everywhere, we have to try to reach and get only positive things.
Yeah. Solitamente l'identità di un interprete, anche giovane come lei, si forma attraverso la scelta precisa e accurata di un repertorio, no? Di un repertorio particolare. Ecco, lei ha ancora molta strada da fare naturalmente, ma su quale repertorio si è concentrato fino ad ora? Su quali compositori, su quali opere principalmente, e che cosa può intravedere nel suo futuro dal punto di vista proprio della scelta del repertorio che le è più congeniale?
As a young musician, I'm focused on different composers, different music, and I find it important in my current chapter of my life, to be focused on different composers and expand my artistic opportunities on each composer, on each epoch. But when I play concerts, especially in different countries, I also think not only about my wishes and wishes of my colleagues if they offer me to play something, which is great. I think about audience, because I really want audience to enjoy the concert. I find that classical music has educative mission, and in the concert shouldn't be only good, beautiful music, which will be nice for audience. Same time, I find that the program has to be built very balanced, with something complicated, but same time it's already, complicated but great music, which could be challenging for listeners. But I find it important to communicate with them through this wonderful music. And same time, we have to think about a program which could be very natural for understanding to the audience. So therefore, for example, I play Franck Sonata, and except that I could put, for example, Bartók Sonata, and which could be, I believe, not for everyone, could be a bit complicated, but it's a real masterpiece, and I believe most of the people has to really listen this music, appreciate, and there are many examples like that. And also I believe that in the future you have to find composers whom you fit well, but I think it appears later, when you already matured as an artist, as a musician, or when you already tried yourself in different epochs, when you played with wonderful musicians, communicate with them, had deep conversations, and etc. And I find it important, and I think it comes naturally later.
Le aggiungo una cosa, un'altra domanda. Attualmente lei è interessato anche alla musica contemporanea, alla musica del nostro tempo, alla nuova musica?
I'm interested about contemporary music. Recently, I played in Gstaad by invitation of Renaud Capuçon, and I played with my wonderful colleague Clément Lefebvre, and we had very good time there. It was wonderful, and we played one commission work of wonderful, fabulous composer Yves Choris, and it was truly interesting for me to work on contemporary music, and we had a coach with Yves Choris. We had masterclass with him, and it really made sense how to dive into the piece. Yes, I find it important, and I think it's a mission of each performers, I believe, to play music of our time, not only music of great composers of previous time. And also I find it important to play music of underrated composers who didn't have such huge success as, for example, Richard Strauss in 20th century or Stravinsky. I find it important. And recently I found some really beautiful music of 20th century, which almost nobody played. And I would love to play it, and I would love to record it at some point.
Allora, un'altra domanda, perché ho visto scorrendo la lista dei suoi concerti che lei si accosta molto di frequente anche alla musica da camera, e come quasi tutti i grandi solisti fanno. Ecco, volevo chiederle però che cosa aggiunge secondo lei al solista l'esperienza del suonare insieme con altri musicisti e che cosa dà al camerista invece la pratica del solista?
I believe chamber music is one of the key to be a very good and proper musician. It teaches you to listen, to react. It's like dramatic actors. When they're acting, each actor has to be in the character of another actor to have like deep connection. And I find the same parallel when I play chamber music with my wonderful colleagues. And thanks to my professor Janine Janssen, I started playing chamber music much more than before. And also to thank to other colleagues and professors whom I also studied with Denise Kozhukhin. It's a wonderful pianist who also gave me lessons. Daniel Blendelf, fabulous musician, conductor, and cellist. Yeah, I always learn from them. And for example, when I play with musicians, I mean with my young colleagues, I prefer to have silent and just listen what they say and just follow about their ideas, because I already know what kind of opinion I have about the interpretation of the certain piece. But I find it incredibly interesting and important to follow if you're completely different in a way of interpretation, just to follow and trust to the interpretation of your colleague. And I find it important to expand your musical imagination. And chamber music giving a lot to each musician to communicate, to listen each other, and just to realize that you're not the most important musician in the group. You're equal, and you're kind of one organism which creates something really beautiful. And I find it, so inspiring.
Bene. Parliamo un po' del suo strumento adesso, perché ho letto che lei suona un violino di Giovanni Battista Guadagnini, che è uno dei maggiori liutai italiani del Settecento. Ecco, è stata una sua scelta questo strumento le è stato affidato da una fondazione come a volte accade, e soprattutto quali sono le caratteristiche del suo strumento che lei apprezza di più, che sente più vicina al suo modo di intendere il suono?
First of all, I would love to thank Beer Society for such an amazing opportunity to play on this instrument, and also A huge thank to the owner of this instrument, Jane, the big lover of classical music. I got this instrument 3 months ago, I think, 2 or 3 months ago, and I'm in the process of discovering different colors, the capability of the instrument, opportunities, and each instrument it's such a universe, different universe, which you have to work with imagination. You have to hear what you want with this instrument.
Bene, allora veniamo al programma del concerto che terrete il 20 di marzo con Luigi Carroccia. Avete scelto 3 brani bellissimi, il poème di Chausson, la sonata di Debussy e la sonata di César Franck. Ecco, al di là del fatto che si tratta ovviamente di 3 pagine che vengono dalla grande letteratura cameristica francese, però c'è qualche cosa nella visione interpretativa che lei ha messo a punto che lega queste pagine tra di loro? Qual è la logica che vi ha portato a scegliere questo programma? Se c'è una logica, come immagino di sì, oppure si tratta semplicemente di brani che lei ama suonare?
First of all, I am over the moon that I'll be playing in the Teatro Cometa with my wonderful colleague Luigi Carroccia. We chose this program together, and each piece, Debussy, Chausson, and Franck, has different character, different different personality of the piece. I find it interesting to be in the world of Debussy, going through Chausson. Chausson is very tragic and dramatic piece, which was dedicated to great violinist and friend of Chausson, Eugène Ysaÿe. And Franck Sonata also, a very interesting story that this sonata was a gift to Eugène Ysaÿe to his marriage. I find these 3 pieces very connected, and I just love this music. So we were thinking with Luigi to play also something else, Poulenc Sonata, for example. But I find Debussy, starting from Debussy, it really connects the whole program through Chausson and Franck. I wanted to say that it's music francophone. It's French, Belgian music. But despite that, it's very different aesthetics of music, different vision in the music. It's quite challenging because as the music francophone could be similar, the composers, but I find it very important to play each piece in their special way and style.
Allora, arriviamo alla conclusione di questa nostra conversazione con un'ultima curiosità, un'ultima domanda. Mi piacerebbe capire come immagina se stesso tra 20 anni, nella sua piena maturità. E un po' che cosa le piacerebbe esplorare nei prossimi anni della sua vita artistica. Ad esempio, molti solisti che arrivano al successo molto presto si dedicano, ad esempio, alla direzione d'orchestra. E mi piacerebbe capire se lei ha questa prospettiva davanti a sé, oppure se le piace invece dedicarsi all'insegnamento. Lei sta ricevendo preziosi insegnamenti, mi piacerebbe capire se nel futuro le piacerebbe essere anche un insegnante oltre che un solista.
In 20 years, I imagine myself as a very educated musician and person who will have a lot to say through music to the audience. And who could expand and develop, as I said, his artistic voice, who could be impactful and useful for the society, maybe as a artistic director of the festival. I was thinking about it in the future to create a festival or to be part of festival as a artistic director. And also I would like to say about my hometown, about my country, I mean Kazakhstan, which I came from. I would love to create a festival there, big, huge festival, where will be a lot of wonderful musicians from all the world. And through music, I believe we can build a cultural bridges. I find it important. About conducting, actually I was interested 3-4 years ago. I already was thinking to take conducting lessons, but I stopped that time because I was doing a lot of competitions and I had to be very focused on something concrete. Maybe in the future, you know, I'm very afraid to change because it's a completely different profession. And if you're a good musician, you're a good soloist, it doesn't mean that you will be a great conductor. And I find it's much more important to be a real specialist on your profession. If you're a violinist or pianist or any instruments, then yeah, you have to really believe in that. If you feel that you have enough talent, knowledge to be a conductor, then just do it.
Okay, Gustav. Thank you.
Thank you so much
with
for
us. Thank
this lovely conversation. Thank you.
you. You're welcome.